Let's be honest here. Let's be honest, okay? If award shows were to be removed tomorrow, no one would ever notice or care. I don't know why they're popular. I don't know why they get the viewership that they do, but they are coming crashing down, and the Oscars were a perfect example of that. To be honest with you, I watched some of the Oscars. It was absolutely terrible. I don't even understand how anybody thought that this was a good idea or that this should be aired on television. It was just bad. I mean, 3 hours of nothing. It was just famous people making speeches about politics and just boring shit that I don't care about. I never really cared about, the whole award ceremony thing, because it's boring. Like, it's an award ceremony where people get nominated, and then some random people just vote on it, and then boom, oh my goodness, you win an Oscar. And so the past couple of years, I think, have just definitely been a great indication of that, because people really and truly don't want to watch it, and it's been on a heavy decline. And people can say, oh yeah, cable television is dying out, so that's why they're losing viewers. Yeah, no, the past couple of years, the Oscars, perfect example. 5 years ago, they were getting like 40 million viewers. Just fast forward a couple years later, and they're getting 1/4 of that. Stuff like that does not happen that quickly, I'm telling you what, unless there is a massive reason or multiple reasons behind it. The Oscars this year were terrible. They got less than half the viewers that they did last year, and for good reason. Number one, a lot of politics.
It has been quite a year, and we are still smack dab in the middle of it. We are mourning the loss of so many, and I have to be honest, if things had gone differently this past week in Minneapolis, I might have traded in my heels for marching boots.
I see it all the time. It's something that's kind of inevitable at this point. When you watch any sport nowadays, there's something about BLM. And I'm going to be honest with you, I lean right. I'm kind of like right center. And so I do disagree with a lot of what is said with the whole BLM thing. But not even that. There have been some things that have been said that I've supported, but I just don't care. Honestly, leave your politics to the Fox News and the CNN and all those other news networks. Why in the world do we need to let it leak into, basically every single idea of mainstream culture? I understand having a political opinion, and I perfectly respect that. I may disagree with it, I may agree with it, I perfectly respect that. But to be honest with you, I don't want that to be crammed in my face. I just want to watch what I want to watch. But nowadays, evidently, that's just not a thing. Politics are important, don't get me wrong, but they don't need to be crammed into every single aspect of American life. And with the Oscars, that was just all it was. I feel like they had nothing else to talk about, so they immediately went to something like BLM, something like anti-racism, whatever. And it's fine that you have those opinions, and it's fine that you support that group. I perfectly respect that, but I don't care. I really don't. I don't need to watch your monologue about that, and don't even call it the Oscars. If you want to make a political speech, make a political speech, but don't call it the Oscars. The other thing was, no one there I really recognized. Like in years past, there were definitely some newbies on there that I've never heard of and stuff, but there were also people that I'd kind of known. When you look at these Oscars, I'm surprised people even watched it. 9 million people watched this. I guarantee you most of them had no idea who was up there. When I look at all these people and all the people that were nominated, I had no idea who they were. And that's my thing. Not a lot of movies came out this year. So why are we even having the Oscars in the first place? Because there aren't even enough movies to make the Oscars. So it's just kind of destined to fail because, why would I want to watch an awards ceremony for people that I don't know? Why would I want to sit through 3 hours of that? And that's the thing. I think that a lot of these people, what they thought was, oh, it's the Oscars. There's a brand behind it. We don't actually have to make this an entertaining show. People will watch it anyway. And they're not wrong. Somehow 9 million people decided to watch it. But this kind of screws up the Oscars image for years to come. I'm going to be honest with you. By the time, this decade is out, by the time we get to 2030, I really don't think the Oscars are going to be a thing. I don't think a lot of these award ceremonies are going to be a thing because they're literally self-destructing themselves. They're just boring as shit. Oh my god. At least maybe when you go to a musical awards ceremony or something like that, you would have live performances. Now even then, I wouldn't really be inclined to watch one of those ceremonies too much, but that's at least something. That's something to watch it for. Then, this entire ceremony was just so bad, and you see that. On YouTube, they have compilations of it, and the amount of dislikes that they got was insane. I mean, some of these videos got more dislikes than they did likes. That is a major sign that your awards ceremony is kind of screwed up. It was the most unmemorable Oscars in history. And to be honest with you, I don't really remember very many. I just know that this is so much more unmemorable than the rest. And I think it's kind of sealed the deal for the Oscars. I really don't think they're going to recover from this. They should have just skipped this year and maybe moved on to a next year when everything was, fine and dandy. Oh yeah, and by the way, you know how the Oscars kind of have that progressive political stance? Well, it's interesting because they actually evicted hundreds of homeless people in order to have their show. And they built a 10-foot barricade all the way around the show just to keep people out. Wow, real good for you. I feel like some of this political stuff really and truly is only for the camera, and none of them actually care. They're great actors maybe on camera, but to be honest, when you look at, that show, it was so obviously fake emotion. None of them actually cared about what they were saying. It was terrible. Like the in memoriam, you know how they do at the end where they're like all the people that passed away that year? You could tell how fake it was and how they did not care.
Vernon Jordan said, "We exist temporarily through what we take, but we live forever through what we give." In 2020, we were united by loss. As of April 25th, 2021, there were recorded over 3 million souls lost around the world to COVID alone.
Through that entire thing, that entire slideshow of the in memoriam, they spent about 3 minutes of just swiping. You couldn't even read the people's names that had passed away. Like, imagine working for decades upon decades for that industry, and the only thing that you actually get is half a second on the Oscars. Half a second, not even enough to read your name. And then boom, you fade away. No fucking respect. Like, Jesus. Honestly, I hope all those people in Hollywood that, act like they're rich snobs, I really and truly hope that they get a reality check, because they need it.